Gabrielle Zimmerman, who was 30, District Judge John Roll, who was 63, Christina Green, who was 9 years old, Dorwin Stoddard, 76, Dorothy Morris, 76, and Phyllis Scheck, 79. And my understanding is there's still like over a dozen in the hospital, and that Congresswoman Giffords' condition is not clear. It appears that she's going to survive, but who knows what the damage will be. I guess all I really want to say is, first of all, it's when people talk about the consequences of violent political rhetoric, to me, it is not hypothetical. You know, I was there when Harvey was shot. I got stabbed by skinheads in 1985. I suspect many of you have been subjected to assaults or know people who have. And it comes from this climate of hatred that is being deliberately encouraged. Now, some people will say, well, this young man probably had no direct connection to Rush Limbaugh or Sarah Palin or Glenn Beck, and I imagine he did not. He's probably one of hundreds of thousands of very troubled people in this country that is also overflowing with guns. And 16 months ago, when Congress was in recess and doing the town halls around the country around the health care reform, we saw the Tea Party people show up. They had signs with nooses on them, with gun sights. They called Congressman John Lewis a nigger in the halls of Congress. They spat on Congressman Barney Frank and called him a faggot. And I think history is just full of so many examples of societies who face challenges similar to the challenges that we're facing here today. And there's really only two ways you can go. You can fall apart and splinter and turn on each other, or you can find the strength and the determination to come together as a people to face those challenges together. I don't know which way it's going, but I'm really frightened by it all. And my grandma died a couple years ago. She lived to be 102. She was a very wise lady, and she said she'd never felt the fear for the country that she felt at that time. So I had two quotes in mind tonight. One is from William Saroyan, the son of Armenian immigrants, grew up in Fresno, and he has a very short little statement. It says, "I can't hate for long. It's not worth it." Maybe that's what we need to be saying to everyone on both sides of these issues. And then the other quote that's in my mind is from Joe Hill just before they executed him in Utah, and he said, "Don't mourn, organize." And that's what I think is the most important thing, is to be sad and to be frightened, as we should be, but also to be smart and to be willing to do the hard work, to organize, to build the kind of movement that can counter this hate and bring people together to solve the problems that we need to solve. I'd never met Gabby, the Congresswoman, except in a handshake, but she warned of this when Palin put out that hit piece. There's that amazing video of her on MSNBC saying there are consequences. And now we see that she was right, and consequences are more tragic than I think she could have even imagined. So I'm not a religious man, but I'm going to pray for all of their recoveries. And I know all of us are thinking about the people that are sitting in that hospital right now, waiting to find out if their loved ones are going to survive. So there's not a lot of us here tonight, but it's better than none. And I thank you all very much for taking the time to show up on a cold night. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, do we want to wrap up with a little song?
Yeah.